Good afternoon. How are you all doing? Sorry, I'm late. I was just updating the website. I completely forgot to put the message up about not being here next week. So, no live rooms from this Friday to Friday the 4th of July, because it's a holiday anyway in the US. Back on Monday the 7th of July. So this is the last live room for a week while I move house and sort all that out. So there we go. Right, I'm really unorganized because I was doing that. What's happened? Okay, so this morning, moving house is a nightmare. The amount of people you have to phone. I've got in touch with three today. Three. Afternoon, by the way. Mumo, Michael, Fletch, Mark, Robert, Church, Joe, Sebastian, Wozciak. How we doing? So I've got three done today. I've got the water company done. Royal Mail. And the electric. Yeah. 3 hours. 90% of that was on hold, waiting to speak to someone. Anyway, fun. I've only got about another 30 in the list. So this morning, we had a clean breakdown. Just quickly go through the indices. I don't want to buy your pen, go away. We had a clean breakdown this morning in the members stream. We broke down and then pushed back up on the DAX. The FTSE, however, broke clean long and then stalled out. So basically, because the DAX broke short and the FTSE broke long this morning, I decided to close both there because it's highly unlikely one will go one way and one will go the other. I didn't know which way to go, so I closed both out. So we then broke down on the DAX. So if I'd have left the DAX running, that would have been a beautiful target today. But the FTSE then obviously came and broke short. So I took the short on the FTSE. And that's, as you can see, just closed out a partial with a trailer in play. So I've got £1,000 in profit running. The other indices this afternoon, the DOW range is too small. Range is too small on the S&P. Range is too small on the NASDAQ. So no trades on the initial 5-minute opening range today. But obviously this morning's trades worked out very nicely. Afternoon, ladies. How are we doing? So we'll see how those go. Obviously, we've got a fair bit of volatility at the moment with what's going on with Trump, the war, everything. It's just chaos. So which way it's going to go today, I don't know. NASDAQ yesterday broke out into all-time highs. So yesterday on the NAS, I'm just seeing what we got ADRs today, not a lot. So yesterday on the NAS, we broke all-time highs. So that is your all-time high, that orange line, and we broke it. So there we go. Yesterday. No, it wasn't yesterday, sorry. It was today. I thought it was yesterday. I'm sure it was yesterday. Maybe that line's not quite right. $222.54.8. 222. It's nearest, damn it. It's close enough. So, yeah, basically yesterday, as you can see, actually, yeah, what happened yesterday was we hit the all-time high, literally rejected it. I think in the futures, you did actually poke your head above it. But today, we're off. So, all-time high territory. So where we go, nobody knows. What we do know, though, is we've got a gap fill to the downside to complete. So false breakout, gap completion is in play. So we'll see where we go today on that one. S&P yesterday, very similar. We've got a gap up situation. For some reason, I don't know why, the market seems to absolutely love the fact that Trump brokered this ceasefire. They've gone, yeah, brilliant, no problem. It's all going to go absolutely fine. It's not going to go absolutely fine. Iran have just basically turned around and gone, we're going to carry on developing nuclear weapons. That's not going to stop, is it? So at the moment, we have market confidence back. Trump is today trying to get negotiations for trade tariffs with Europe. So the market seems to think we're back in the driving seat and everything's fine. I'm not convinced. So we'll see what happens. But S&P, obviously, ADR today, as you can see, there's ADR. ADR today is all-time high on the S&P 500 as well. So if we do get a rally today on the NASDAQ, S&P is likely to get an ADR hit, which means we're likely to get an all-time high on the S&P as well. Dow Jones has got a long way to go. Miles. Industrial stocks still very, very down at the moment. So we'll see where we go with those today. So far, no trades anyway. So, so I got frog in my throat today. Been talking too much on the phone to people, just trying to change addresses. It's a nightmare. So there's your 5-minute opening range. Your 10-minute opening range on the Dow is a complete rejection back down to the lows. We've got 1 minute left on this candle, but completely opposite move. Again, we've got a little divergence going in here. Industrial stocks selling off like crazy. Tech stocks rallying. S&P, not sure. Absolutely no clue today as to where we're going. Exactly what we had with the FTSE and the DAX this morning. Real divergence. Market's in a real mess at the minute. But we'll see where we go. So looking like we're breaking long on the NAS. So we'll wait and see if those ranges get put in play. But at the moment, they're too small. ADRs, we've got a few today. We looked this morning in the member stream through all of these weekly range extensions. Afternoon, Pot DJ. Ryan, how we doing? I read that before you retracted it, Ryan. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. We looked at two really good opportunities for trades this morning in the members stream. First one was the pound CAD. Let me just look at the 4-hour RSIs. They've undone themselves, haven't they? It wasn't the pound CAD. Oh my God, what was it? Can't remember. Whatever it is, it's played out because I looked at it and said, this is a really good opportunity. Who was in the live room this morning? Let's check. What did we look at this morning? I can't remember. Is it Swiss yen? No, it wasn't because I'm in Swiss yen. What was that 4-hour RSI extension? I'm going to have to just whiz through the charts and find it. CAD Swiss, that was it. So CAD Swiss, we're approaching. Why is that not lit up on the dashboard? 26. Yeah, see, we were down at 11 this morning. So down here, down at this area, is we very, very rarely ever get down here on a 4-hour RSI, US dollar Swiss as well, wasn't it? Yeah. And pound US dollar. So we very rarely get down to this level on the 4-hour RSI. So we looked at this. You do get here occasionally. Down anything above 90 and below 10 is something extreme, something really extreme. We're down there at the moment. So this is a beautiful mean reversion opportunity. You've also got this double bottom monthly coming up at 125 ADR. So if this trade doesn't work out, you'll be in potentially 2 to 3 trades by the time you get down to that low for a position trade bounce. When you do get those bounces, they tend to be V-shaped recoveries. So we looked through all this in the live room this morning. And if you go back historically and look at every time we've got those extensions on, it's a V-shaped recovery move. Yeah. Yeah. So there's one there as well. And that's basically where we are now. So it's a really good opportunity for scaling in. It may not go necessarily today. It is starting to tick up. You're back above the 20 level, but as you can see, it's coming back down again. So this is going to put some bullish divergence in play as well on the hourly time frame. It's not that good, actually. But it is still slightly bullish. It kind of double bottomed, didn't it? So you've got a very nice big move of potentially sort of 2 to 3 ADR, but you've also got the potential for it to drop by another 1.5 ADR. So any kind of scaling down, if we do test that level, we're going to get a decent bounce off of that. So there's a number of these weekly extensions. Pound CAD, that one there. We looked at the pound US dollar as well, which was very nicely extended to the upside. So that's an entire week done in 48 hours. Beautiful push back down into the top of propulsion there. You've also got this high as a target to the downside. So we just need some strength coming through on that US dollar, which will come through. But this is a lovely short as well, the pound US dollar, off the back of a triple weekly high. So you've got last week's high, 2-week high, 3-week high, previous month's high. This whole area here is resistance. Every time we have a run at this, we don't seem to be able to crack it. And look at the speed of this move. It's absolutely exhausted within 24 hours. High probability of a pullback. So I took another position on that this morning. Tempted to take an aggressive drawdown control position on that, to be honest. I'm going to stick a sell stop on this. So I've just placed a sell stop underneath that low. So when that reversal, if that reversal alert kicks in, that's going to trigger a short. So I'm going to get another position on it because it's absolutely shot, extended. So there's lots of opportunities. So if you've got the AWR dash, obviously, there's lots of extensions that you can get involved in this afternoon. Plenty of stuff really, really, really stretched. Quickly go through. There you go. So there's your CAD Swiss. Euro yen sort of played out. Euro New Zealand's already played out. Pound CAD, beautiful extension. That oil price is probably coming down again, isn't it? Yeah. It's holding. CAD. So that's a really nice extension as well. Beautiful run up on the week. So you're looking for a pullback on that. Again, V-shaped recovery, at least a 38 retracement. Back down 1 ADR. Drop down lower time frames, look for reversal alerts to jump in on. Okay. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, that would have been tricky to get in on, but that was a nice extension as well, down below the 20. Look, always the 80-20 on the 4 hour is the Goldilocks zone. It's very rare you'll get above that level without some kind of dramatic pullback. The market is just exhausted. There's nobody left to sell. They can't buy anymore because literally there's no other sides to the trade, so they have to exit a percentage of the position to get back in again. So really good extensions if you can get them. US dollar Swiss, so that one's the other nice one. So we looked at this one as a bullish divergence as well. So we are at this monthly low, exactly where we're bouncing, with a bullish divergence in play. So this is a lovely extension back up into here, but we've got to get that strength on that that US dollar. The Swissy at the moment is obviously on fire because of the safe haven runs, of which obviously we keep seeing these safe haven runs coming in because the market is scared to death at the moment of this conflict. So lots of opportunities. So, you know, you can go through it at your leisure, but ADRs, AWRs lit up like a Christmas tree. We've got RSIs. We had lots of RSI extensions today, like on the Swiss yen, but they've kind of started to play out as well. Not the Swiss yen. There's others, but you know, they've all sort of played out because we've had the move started on them. So afternoon elevated. We have a lot of downside potential on the US pairs. US strength. A lot of potential in either direction. If only we knew which way it was going. No trade for me today on third bar. We'll see sixth. Yeah. Range is too small. So yeah, these, you know, these ranges, although they look like big moves, they're not. This is tiny. This is a tiny open. Look at it. It's 70 points. It's not big enough to trade. So we'll wait. The 30-minute range break today is what's going to be taken if we get a 30-minute range break. But if this just sits here like this, there's no trades, which is fine. I'm up on the morning, but nice to take a break of this. I mean, if it's entirely up to you how you do it, but if this sits inside bar now for 30 minutes, so if it sits inside the 30-minute inside the 15-minute range, and we just sort of hover around in here, you can just straddle it manually if you want to and still take a break of that 30-minute ORB. But obviously the range is very small. So just be aware that you need to reduce risk because it's a very tight range. It's likely to just sit around. There's no news catalyst today. So if we look at the news today, which we didn't do, we normally do, there is none. We've had the news this morning. It was the Australian CPI. The market didn't bat an eyelid at that. We've got Powell testifying at 3 o'clock. He testified yesterday. So all the juicy stuff came out yesterday. Today, unlikely we're going to get anything that's impacted for the market because that was all said yesterday. And he, in no uncertain terms, came out yesterday and said, we are not dropping interest rates. Yeah. So we keep getting this mixed message. Trump and obviously his White House cronies are like, we need to drop the interest rate by 1%. This is ridiculous. It's far too high. We should be down at 2.5%. Powell's sitting there going, have you seen the inflation figures? Because of your tariffs, it's likely to go up. If you want us to drop interest rates when inflation's going up, you're the person that's going to be footing the bill. Trump is obviously disagreeing with Powell. Powell's doing the right thing. He's freezing at the moment on interest rate drops because inflation is not under control. So we've got this battle going on at the moment between the Fed and between obviously the administration. But at the end of the day, you put someone in charge of the Fed because they're in charge of economics and they're an expert in that. If you're an expert at running businesses and selling real estate and you happen to try and play at running a country, you shouldn't be getting involved in the finance side of things because it's not your area. But he likes to dabble in everything, doesn't he? So I doubt anything will come out of that. But the US dollar at the moment, absolutely no clue where it's going because we still haven't got this tariff thing sorted. They're now dipping into war, and obviously inflation is starting to look like it might tick up again. So it's impossible to give a direction on it at the minute. So there's no more news today, apart from, I mean, he might say something. You never know. But the rest of the week, we've just got GDP, unemployment, and then PCE on Friday. So there's nothing particularly catalyst-wise to drive this market. So the thing that I think is going to drive the dollar today is not happening, which would be a bullish stock market driving the dollar down. But it looks to me like we are rejecting to do gap fills. So strongly. So the Dow hasn't got a gap to do. Obviously, we have got gaps. Oh, no, we haven't got gaps. Sorry, no, that's the US, the European indices, isn't it? I thought we had a gap fill on the US as well. Depends which broker you look at, really, doesn't it? But so yeah, obviously this is all-time high. So if we are going to get an all-time high rejection, you're going to be down here very, very quick. This is your high break yesterday. So they'll undo the entire move from yesterday. So there's a good chance of a collapse today, but there's also a very good chance of a massive rally. This could go absolutely anywhere today. So as usual, don't try and predict the future. Go with the flow. If the market's breaking short, go short. And it is breaking short. That would be your preferred direction today. Gold, please. Let me have a look at the Euro US dollar first. So gold is coming down today. Same as the other dollar. It's a US dollar cross. Whatever the other dollar crosses are doing, gold's doing it. Did you get out the oil trade? No, I'm still in it, holding it at the moment. Tight. I'm getting out at 5%. So if it drops, if we get another down day today, I will get out. I got into some more this morning. I'm looking basically for a reversal off of the monthly lows. So this is basically an A-shaped recovery. So war, not going to war, back to where we started. Happens to also be a monthly high breakout, which was a double top. So as you can see, we hit here, we hit it again. Yeah, can't get through. And then all of a sudden we get a breakout, that propulsion gap here, which causes that monthly high. We then test that monthly high and we start to rally. So oil price before the announcement of the Iranian massive blow up which obviously oil spiked on because they thought they were going to shut that pipeline off, or that strait off. Oil was starting to rally anyway. So we're back to the origin of the move. So I'm expecting the monthly highs to hold and to get a dead cat bounce back up into here somewhere. But it's probably going to be a multi-day move. So I'm holding for the moment. But yeah, it's not gone to plan. So if it drops down to 5% drawdown, I'm going to just scrap it and take a 5% hit on it. Not worked out. It's one of those trades which is a complete speculative play. It's got nothing to do with technicals, fundamentals, or any kind of historical price pattern. It's purely the fact that the market will pop like crazy when World War kicks off. It looked 2 days ago like that was happening. Doesn't look like it's happening anymore, does it? So, this week has been calm. Last week was crazy. It's just going to take one rocket by either side and we're back up there again. So, we'll see. Don't know what it's going to do. Firechrist, when do you implement aggressive drawdown control? When you're uncomfortable? Yeah, basically. So up to you where you implement aggressive drawdown control. You can either do it on number of trades, or you can do it on percentage drawdown, or you can do it when you see a level. There's no right or wrong. It's an entirely individual thing. But there's no point in implementing aggressive drawdown control when you're only in like 4 positions, 4 trades in a position, because that's quite normal. So I would say when you're getting up to 5/6 trades in a position, or you're getting up to 2/3% in drawdown, maybe, or you've got 4 trades on and you're double topping at a triple high, like I'm doing now. Seems like a good aggressive position to take. It's rejected it 3 or 4 times. We're exhausted. RSI extension, M pattern reversal. Looks like a good aggressive drawdown control position. Don't forget, all aggressive drawdown control positions are stop loss trades. So you're literally saying, if it doesn't work out, I'll get out. That's it. So we're adding aggressive moves in at areas of interest which have a higher probability of working out because of X, Y, or Z, whatever it may be. And what triggers that is up to you. I've tested everything. I've tested when is the best time to do aggressive drawdown control at number of trades, a percentage drawdown. Don't forget, the market doesn't know what your number of trades is. It doesn't care about you. It doesn't know whether you're stressed, whether you've got a massive win on this month, a massive loss this month. It doesn't know anything about you. So you can't say the best thing to do is when I get to 2% drawdown, that's when the market usually turns. You can't say it's when I've got 6 trades on, that's the best time to do it. What you can say is when the market gets to a level historically that it has reacted at, that is the best time to do aggressive drawdown control. So I will always try and implement aggressive positions at support resistance, because we know there are sellers there. We know there are sellers there. We know there are sellers there. We knew there were sellers at that monthly high. Yeah. So this whole area here, we know is full of sellers. Those sellers won out and made a new lower low, but we had a fundamental shift that has retested them. They are either still there or they're not. If they are, we're coming down to here. Potentially, we're going to come down to here. But if we're not, I want to stop out, because if I'm not, I don't want a huge position on that's going to go into worse drawdown. So I'll wait for the next pullback. So always try and execute it at a level that makes logical sense, which is why I don't do it with the EA automatically, because the EA will just go, oh, he's in 6 trades, we need to get a bigger size on. No, if the 6th trade is here and it makes absolutely no logical sense, then there's no point in taking it, is there? The whole point of these trades is to get this average close enough to price that you can get out. And then you take the aggressive ones off and you do drawdown control. Then you wait and see what happens next. Or you get out of the whole thing and go, that was a nightmare. I lost nothing. I got in on the 8th of May. I got out on the 26th, 27th of June, and I lost nothing by being wrong 7 or 8 times. That's the goal, isn't it? There is no right or wrong. Did you get out of your trade? I'll answer that one. And testing silver went quite well for you, actually. Mr. Line. Apropos gold. What? Apropos gold, I was watching silver. It seems to be more in a range and has more opportunities. I've never looked at silver. I've looked at gold. Gold doesn't like me, so I didn't look at silver. Afternoon, Brian. How are we doing? Let's have a look at the ranges. So no trades so far. So the 6-bar range is going to be in as it stands in the next 1 minute. 6-bar range is going to be too tight on the Dow, so there's no trades on the Dow. S&P is going to be too tight. No trade on the S&P and no trade on the NASDAQ today. Oh, they're so close. The NASDAQ and the S&P are really close. I'm not going to take them. But if I was going to take them, there's your ranges. It's really tight. Yeah, if the market's doing this, it hasn't got a directional bias. So if it hasn't got a directional bias 30 minutes into the session, it's probably not going to have a directional bias for a while. When it does have a directional bias, though, you'll be fine. But there's just no point in taking these. The range is too tight. It's too small. There's not enough volume. There's not enough volatility in the market to make money. So just give it a miss. So there's your 6-bar ranges. No good. Any of them today. That's the first day in a long time I've seen no trades. Happens every now and again. But if you want to take a manual, go for it. Is looking like it maybe wants to go long, but you know, this is the thing. This is why we don't trade these types of price patterns. 15 minutes ago, it looked like it wanted to go short. Yeah. 15 minutes later, it looks like it wants to go long. If you go long now, in 15 minutes time, you'll be stopped out and you'll look like you want to go short, and then you'll be stopped out because it goes long, and then you'll look like you want to go long. Before you know it, you've got 6 trades in the hole, and now you're cross and angry and you're doubling up your size. So forget it. Leave it. It ain't working today. Right, anybody got any pairs they want to have a look at? Specifically, I've got nothing else really to look at this afternoon because the pound yen is the only extension we've got on the hourly and 4 hourly. That's pushing very nicely. Beautiful market structure. But obviously it is extended to the upside with bearish divergence. So, I mean, it looks like a lovely short, but right now, if that conflict is not going to kick off, that yen is not going to power up. So nothing really to look at there. Swiss yen is extended. Someone's just asked for that, I think. So I've got 5 short on Swiss yen at the minute. I've already banked on it twice. So took that bank there, drawdown control, and then I took those off. So that was an aggressive drawdown control position. So you're asking about aggressive drawdown control positions. That's why I took the aggressive drawdown control position there. We got above the 80 level. Don't often get above the 80 level. You know, we do get above the 80 level, but when we do get above the 80 level after a move that fast, it usually pulls back. So I took aggressive drawdown control here. Used that to pay for lower positions. We're pushing up to a double top now. So I'm only 150 ADR as an average away, so I'm not really that bothered about it. But yeah, it looks good. Nicely extended on the 4 hour, I think. Yeah, so there's that 4 hour extension. That wasn't quite 90. Wasn't far off. 89.3. You know, that 90-10 level. If you get to the 90-10 level on the 4 hour RSI, you're 90% guaranteed at least a third to a half pullback on a leg, because it's just the market can't sustain that move. You have to have two parties to make a transaction. If you've pushed that fast and that hard, you've eaten every piece of liquidity on the way. You get to a point where there's just nobody looking to sell. Yeah, they're just not going to sell to you up at that level. So you have to come back down again, entice some sellers in so that you can use that liquidity to push the next leg. Double top at the moment, beautiful short opportunity if you want it. I've already got a trade on this morning, so I'm not going to take a second one there. I'll take one if we get above 125 ADR today. But this high here is now breached. And it's looking like it wants to break through it. But the speed of this move, look, so you've got a parabolic move with a flag break. You've got 50% retracement on that leg. But the speed of it is so quick. It's not normal market structure, is it? It's just parabolic move followed by pullback, followed by parabolic move. Really, really quick movement. So I get the feeling that might turn into an M pattern there. That Swiss franc is going to be dropping on interest rates. So the Swiss franc is weak at the moment. However, that yen hasn't got any reason to be strong. So we're waiting for this Swiss franc to unravel based on the conflict. The problem with this is there is potential for it to flare up again and spike again. So if that happens, I'll take another aggressive because we're going to be pushing up above the 80 level again. Yeah, very, very quick pullback that yesterday. Not yesterday, it was the day before, wasn't it? Monday. No, it was yesterday. Well, it kind of happened on Monday. I took it off there. But yeah, if we can double top here, there is an argument for putting another position on here as an aggressive, but it's really close. Not even half an ADR. It's far too close to take another trade. There's your 5-minute reversal alert just gone in. 15-minute will go in shortly. Next half an hour. Yeah, let's go for shorts. Euro CAD, still stuck in Euro CAD. So Euro CAD, I've got five on at the moment. Double topping on the monthly. So M pattern reversal starting to go in. If we break that low, we should at least come down and retest these highs, these weeklies. I've got a long way to go on this. So I'm in 5 at the moment, really nicely spaced out. So yeah, I'm hoping the monthly high is going to hold and then obviously push us back down again. Again, it's too close to take another position. I've only got 5 on it, so I don't want to get aggressive. Really good level. So if you look at this area here, where we are right now, and then you look at this previous level from March. This is the equivalent to this. Then we got a big pullback on, and then we tried to crack that level over and over again. We couldn't get through it. Tried again, couldn't get through it. Eventually, we parabolic moved through it when Trump got in. Yeah. So this, to me, looks like a lovely short from where we are at the moment. That price there. I can't get that candle. Where am I? I hate it when it does that. There, that's what I was looking for. So I know where I'm going. So the higher that candle is. Oh my God, why won't you give me the data on that candle? Hello. 159,892. So that is your high. See where we are today. Yeah, so we're not far off it. So we're at the monthly high, just starting to reject. You've literally got a quarter of an ADR, not even a quarter of an ADR, actually, is it? Is it like 38 pips? Is a quarter of an ADR? A quarter of an ADR is 27. So you've got roughly a quarter of an ADR distance to go there. So there's a really good argument for an aggressive drawdown control position there if you want it. That reversal alert and retest is potentially, that's your monthly, look at that monthly rejection, yeah? That's the monthly high. To the pip, there is an order sitting there. Yeah, I drove it straight back down, added more size, came back down into propulsion, buyers entered back into the market. If we enter that again, we're likely to get pushed back down again. If we do break through it, you've got a quarter of an ADR, a yearly high, which is going to drive back down again as well. So really good spot for aggressive drawdown control if you want to do it. It's tempting. I might put a sell stop on it. So I want to see some rejection on it, basically. But I'm quite happy to take an aggressive on that there and put a stop loss up there. So that's my next short anyway, if we break that high. I'm looking for a pullback on that. So that'll bring the average up nicely. That's only a small position. It's not an aggressive. All I'm doing is I'm taking two trades really close together, which is like taking 50% aggressive, really. It's not actually 50%. It's probably more like, what are we, 20, 30, 40, 50. Yeah, it's about 40% size. Good level that. Euro odd. It was a short on Monday. Played out. Good afternoon, David. How are we doing? Thank you very much for the $10. Very much appreciated. I've bought all my boxes now, you'll be pleased to hear, so I'll have to find another use for that one. Packing tape. Just spent £2.50 on packing tape today. There we go. There's a quarter of it gone already. Well, actually, it's dollars to pounds, so there's probably about half of it gone. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Final packing today and tomorrow, and then moving. Yeah, this is the very last stream in this office. This is the last. This is historical history in the making. This is the very last stream from the dark office. The next time you see me, I will be in a light office. Probably really echoey because there won't be anything in it. There you go. Don't hurt myself. I won't, because I've got 4 burly men coming to do it for me. Put it towards a Big Mac account. Yeah. So EuroOdd, sorry, I was interrupted. EuroOdd is kind of breaking out to the highs, but it's flip-flopping around, not really doing much. It's either going up into there or we're going to pull back down and retest the lows. There's absolutely no reason for the euro to be strong at the moment. We've had bad news for the Aussies. The CPI came down. So inflation's come down in Australia, which typically would tend to be bullish. The market didn't seem to react at all to that today. So market structure is long. However, I'd kind of say that reversal could well easily stick, couldn't it? So it's just not really doing anything at the minute. It's kind of sitting in no man's land. We got this horrible price action when Trump decided that the Europeans had to look after themselves and he wasn't going to bail them out for anything. And then he was like, no, I won't leave NATO. So it's difficult to read the price action. We're double topping at the moment on this sort of pullback after all the Trump chaos. So, yeah, I mean, it's not bullish, it's not bearish. Euro is bearish, Aussie's bearish. In theory, shouldn't really be going anywhere. So, can't really read it. Not a lot I can say about that one. Aussie dollar Swiss, everything down against the Swiss. Safe havens are being run, so down against the Swiss. However, if we don't run safe havens anymore because everybody's calmed down, tariffs get sorted out, and there's nothing to do with Iran and Israel bubbling, this Swiss franc will drop, which means that'll pop. So Aussie-Swiss, technically Aussie-Swiss is a long because the Swiss franc has dropped its interest rates to 0. And although the Australian dollar's just had bad news on the CPI today, so they're going to be dropping their interest rates as well. So it's kind of a bear against a bear. At the moment, though, you have to side with the safe haven run. Yeah. So if it pulls back, assume that something's going to go wrong. Pretty much every week since Trump got into power, something has gone wrong. Yeah. If you look at the Swiss franc since January, I have to go out a little bit. It's been pretty damn strong because the market panics. The market buys the Swiss franc when it panics. Anything that is going wrong powers up the Swiss franc. Everything comes down against the Swissy. Yeah, Swiss yen goes up, Euro Swiss down, CAD Swiss down, Pound Swiss down. That's sitting around a little bit at the moment because the pound's also a bit weak. So you've got to really look at shorting everything against the Swiss franc at the moment. But that can change any time. So from a technical point of view, it's trending down nicely. Though you just had a reversal alert, so got to get through there. Don't know. This is New Zealand Swiss. Obviously, Aussie Swiss is the same thing. It's the same pair, basically. So either of those. Aussie Swiss looks nicer because it's a double bottom. Either the double bottom is going to hold, you buy it, or it's not. There's no financial advantage either way for either of those currencies. So they're neutral. There's no reason to be buying or selling either of them at the minute. US dollar CAD, oil, basically, is what you're looking at. Inverse. It's just difficult to call this as well. You're not picking very good pairs here, Sebastian. No, not Sebastian, Winnie. These are terrible pairs. It's just a mess at the moment. So obviously this is the dollar's on its knees, basically. Trump's destroyed the dollar. He hasn't come up with anything that is going to bolster the dollar. There is no plan in place that anyone can see that is going to make the dollar more attractive for investment. He's moaning about wanting interest rates dropped, which is going to weaken the dollar. And he keeps going into conflict, weakens the dollar. No one can show me anything on paper, and no economist can see any reason to buy the dollar. They are running like mad for the hills. They're not interested in buying the dollar. So it's really hard to find a reason to buy it. He will make it pop because he will do or say something, whether or not it gets followed through, but he will do or say something that will pop the dollar at some point. But you can't time the market. So it's hard to say anything but shorts on this at the moment. This is the biggest, strongest move we've had on the dollar. Yeah. Since, I mean, this is only March, since January. Yeah. We've had a little bounce there. We've had another bounce here, but, you know, can't see any reason to buy it. I have pound US short on at the moment. The pound is weak at the moment. There's no reason to be strengthening on the pound. So this is, for me, a better trade because when you get that dollar strength coming through, the pound is weak, so it should get a really good run at it. The CAD is going to strengthen on oil along with the dollar. And these two were, whether it remains to be seen whether they will be, very strong trade partners. So anything that's good for the US is good for the CAD. If it's bad for the US, it's bad for the CAD, and vice versa. So they tend to sit in range most of the time. But obviously, Trump's ripped up the rule book to do with trade. So this is no longer the case. These guys are hopping over America and dealing with Mexico, dealing with Europe, dealing with China direct, not dealing with the US anywhere near as much as they were before. So the relationship and the way that this will move, its personality, has changed. They are both commodity pairs based on oil. So if oil rallies, they will rally. If oil drops, they will drop. obviously what we've seen over the last couple of days is oil dropping. Yeah, so everything rallies against the Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar comes down. Yeah, pound rallying against it. New Zealand rallying against it. US dollar CAD sitting sideways. Why? Because both of them power up at the same time based on oil, which gives neither of them an advantage. So this is equivalent to trading the Aussie, New Zealand, or the Euro pound. It tends to do the same. If the Euro rallies, the pound rallies. If the Aussie rallies, the New Zealand rallies. If the CAD rallies, the US rallies. Yeah, so it's not a great pair. ADR is not bad on it, but at the moment it is well out of sync. So this is all new price action for most people because we don't tend to see the US dollar CAD do this as much because they usually pretty much do the same thing. But every single one of these moves that you see is a Trump. So, you know, where you are right now, what's Trump going to say next? That's what you need, a crystal ball. Other than that, no one's going to tell you which way this is going. This is normal price action for the US dollar CAD. Yeah, that's I mean, that's obviously Trump, but you know, it's not normally this market structure. It's lovely because it's moving really nicely. So there's a good argument for literally just following the RSI. So if you'd have shorted it there, there, and there, you're out. If you'd have longed it here, here, you're out. Long. In fact, that long would have started probably here, wouldn't it? So you'd have been in 1, 2, 3, 4, out. That was straight in and out. That one was straight in and out. So yeah, just follow the RSI. Most things at the moment you'll find following the RSI is going to work out within a week or two because it's just one of those markets at the minute where we're moving on Trump. This is what I said, you know, before Trump got in, I was saying tail end of last year. Those of you that haven't traded through a Trump presidency are in for a shock because fundamentals, technicals, and everything you learn has gone out the window. This thing moves when Trump decides it moves. Everything moves when Trump decides it moves. He just does this. So you have to just hold on tight. So what I've decided to do is reduce risk down to 7 pairs and reduce risk financially down as well. And just sit and ride it and then use other instruments like the indices to get short-term moves and make, you know, decent intraday money because the long-term outlook on everything is a scattergun approach at the moment. Dow is new lows. This market looks heavy. So market structure is bearish. So I've been more interested in shorts today. These all-time highs, well, the S&P hasn't got there yet, but the NASDAQ doesn't seem to have any interest in breaking out, does it? Normally we get a rally out the highs. Not happening, is it, today? So in Globex, we have pushed out the high, but we're struggling. So watch Friday's low. If we do drop today, watch Friday's low. Yesterday's low, which is obviously that high by the all-time high. We hit it today and rejected it, and then we nicely broke through. So watch this level for a bounce today. If that doesn't hold, you're coming back down here. Big drop. A lot more downside than upside on this at the minute. Who knows? It's one of those days today. In Swiss yen M15 at 9:15 London time, is that a clean M pattern? What, here? Cleanish. You would have had a reversal alert there. Oh, I don't know if you will actually. depending on your broker, that's dicey, that one, whether that would have broken. That's your high. That was your last down. That's your break. But it didn't break, did it? Somewhere around there, if that's what you mean. I mean, it'd be broker dependent, but I mean, signals are signals, you know. This is why signal services don't work. All a signal is a indication to go long or short. It's a button press. So basically, if your broker triggered that on your chart, it's just saying, I'm going to hit the sell button. If mine didn't, I don't. I wait for a new entry. You know, whether it works or not is irrelevant. It doesn't, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. Every signal is just a signal. That's all it is. It doesn't mean the market is going to drop or anything. It just means that the market has moved away from the highs. In the next hour, you could have someone walk in with saying, you know, I've got 200 million Swiss franc I need converted into yen, please. Okay, off we go. At that point in time, when you got the reversal alert, that person that wanted that transaction done wasn't there. He moved in 1 minute after that happened and went, I need to do this. The bank went, no problem. So it rallied up. And you're like, well, I got a signal short. Well, you did at that time, but this is a different time. And whether your broker gave you that signal or not is dependent on your broker. That's a really tight one, that. Stick it in the back tester. Elevated. Lee, is it okay when I live streaming that I open your stream and talk about it with my viewers? I don't know. Why not? Why can't they just come into my stream? You're streaming a stream. Why would you stream a stream? If you've got your own stream, why aren't you doing your own thing? What are you doing in here? I don't get it. Sorry. Afternoon, Sebastian. No, sorry. Sebastian's just saying yes. Okay, so that was the reversal that you're talking about, yeah. Potentially. Right. That's all I've got for you today, really. There's not a lot else I can really discuss today because there's not an awful lot happening that we haven't already discussed this morning in the member stream, which is basically all these RSI extensions and AWRs today. So there's lots of opportunities to get into new trades. But it's just a case of waiting and seeing what happens from here. So there's my old trade there. So just waiting to see if we get some US dollar strength. We had some strength this morning on some things, and they've really moved out of strength very, very quickly, but nothing's really moved. So we're waiting to see what happens with this dollar's next move at the moment. Obviously, Trump's not fully awake yet. He will be. So we're just waiting to see what happens with the Iran-Israel thing and what happens with the talk today. So obviously Trump's in meetings today with Europe. So he's going to come out of that and he's going to say something. Yeah, that will either send us into chaos or it won't. I think great progress is being made in Gaza. I'm just looking at what else he said this morning. You know, he could come out and say, I'm leaving NATO. Trump on Iran conflict. I dealt with both, and both are exhausted. Iran, Israel could start again. Guess it could start soon. Right. Every time he has said something along those lines, it has happened within hours. Yeah. So look at all the things we've had. Remember the comments. Now is a good time to buy stocks. Pulls the China tariff 24 hours later. Stock market 9.5% up, biggest day ever. Israel may or may not attack. There is a possibility of an Israel attack being imminent, but I'm not saying it's going to happen. 2 hours later, rockets. Iran, Israel could start again. Guess it could start soon. Literally, I'll put $100 down. This will happen within 24 hours. They will fire another missile and it's going to kick off again, or they're going to bomb them again. Yeah. When he comes out with this, he's already made his mind up and he can't control his mouth. He goes, I'm thinking something. Why is it coming out of my mouth? Like when he swore at the press the other day. Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, I get the feeling that oil price is going back up. That's why I'm holding it. We're not giving up on Iran's sanctions. So they are remaining sanctions. They're not going to stop the sanctions, which means that the conflict is not getting sorted. They're not going to come and sit around the table. You're not going to be able to negotiate with them. You've tried to blow them up. You couldn't. What do you do next? There's nothing you can do but escalate, is there? Doesn't seem to be a way of sorting this out. If Iran sells oil, they'll sell oil. They're not taking over the oil. Yeah. Oh, my God. So we're back in greed mode, which should be bullish. It's possible Putin has territorial ambitions beyond Ukraine. Well, that's really reassuring. May sign the Iran agreement next week. US will meet Iran. Yeah, so stuff's still coming out now. 322. This is all coming out now. So be prepared for some movement. We're negotiating with Spain on a trade deal. So, there's a lot going on at the minute. So I think the market is sitting around at the moment waiting for the next Trump, isn't it? Elevated. It's like a reaction. I streaming my MT4 terminal. Not charging for this. It's free. I like the streams from. I'll show my viewers how they can learn a lot from. Well, so just send them to my stream. Don't stream my stream. Send them to my stream. They can become members of my stream. I'm not sure I want you streaming my stream. Why would you do that? Doesn't really make sense. Recommend the stream. Get people in it. Is it somebody restreaming? No, if they're not. Yeah, I mean, if you restream it and charge for it, obviously YouTube are going to take it down. You can't do that. They will detect that. Thanks for the good wishes, Church. Right. So I'll be back on the 20. No, I won't. I'll be back on the 7th of July. So I'm off now next week. I'm going to be around. I'll be in Discord and Telegram, obviously, as usual. I'm obviously still going to be trading. So any positions that I close out or anything, I will be posting in the Discord channel. But I'm not going to be actively hunting for any new opportunities over the next week because I'm going to be busy unpacking, buying stuff, doing things, fingers crossed, getting internet working, all that sort of stuff. So I've got loads of stuff. So there's going to be a lot of disruption for me over the next week, which is why I decided just going to take it off and then I haven't got to worry about it. So I'll be back on this after the 4th of July. So 4th of July next weekend, next Friday. Do not trade on the 4th of July. Yeah. So there's only 4 days next week anyway. So I'll be back on that Monday after the 4th of July and see how things go. But obviously anything I do see coming up in news feeds and stuff that looks important, obviously I will let you know about. But just, keep your eyes peeled on Financial Juice. I can't stress it enough. If something happens here, it makes the market move, especially with Trump. You're not going to be able to do anything about it. It will have moved, but it allows you to understand why things are moving, which is the most important thing. So you can plan your next move. It's either, holy crap, looks like the Swissy is going to power up. I need to get out, or whatever you want to do. Yeah. So if you get a massive push down on the Swiss franc, it gets below 10 on the RSI, and you're going to think about buying it, look at why it happened. Is World War III kicking off? Probably best not to buy it. Yeah. So just keep your eyes peeled on here. This is what's moving the market. Powell's talking at the moment. He's doing his testifying at the same time as Trump's talking. This is going to be an interesting one, isn't it? We'll just wait for Putin to say something as well. Anyway. So yeah, I will be back on Monday after next. If you need anything, let me know. I'll be in Discord or Telegram. Other than that, have a good week. Fingers crossed. Hope everything goes well. And I will see you when we get back. Have a good week.